Hi there. Welcome back to Funny Papers. This is your old buddy Dustin, and I'm here to read a few more of the funnies for you. Now, as you know, this show is all about reading and narrating the comic strip section of the newspaper. I hope you guys enjoy. Now, today is another one of those special episodes. I like special episodes. Today I have my cousin Max on the show, as well as our old buddy John. Hi Max, how's it going?
Good, how are you doing, Big D?
Good. I've always loved that nickname, Big D.
Oh yeah?
Where do you think that came from?
I don't know. I've kind of just, I think I just made it up. I make up a lot of nicknames for people.
Is this a family show?
Yeah.
It's a family show. Oh, there's John. Yeah, say hi, John.
Oh yeah, sorry, didn't mean to forget me. I thought this was a family show.
It is. You're part of the family.
Okay, Big D, thank you.
Yeah, Big Dustin. Yeah.
Yeah. No, all right. So we haven't ever heard from Max before. We've heard from Julian, my other cousin, your brother. I just want you to kind of introduce yourself and what you do. You work in an interesting line of work.
Okay. My name is Maxwell Monroe Bridge. I am a 29-year-old male, born in Denver, Colorado. I am, for my employment, I'm an attorney. I wouldn't say that's interesting, but that's very generous of you to say that that's an interesting line of work.
I think it is. I mean, it's a far cry from what I do, which is, play dress up and...
That's a lot more interesting. But anyway, what I do for work, so I do a lot of, I make title opinions, which basically we get...
Yeah, what does that mean, make title opinion?
I work for a law firm, and we get hired by energy companies to basically put together a list of who owns all of the minerals and like leaseholds for land around Colorado. So in Colorado, in law, you have people can own the mineral interests. So that's like all the minerals that are underneath the land. And then you have people that can own the surface rights, which is everything that goes on top of the land. And before energy companies drill an oil and gas well, or before a mining company mines, they need to know who owns all the minerals underneath the ground. And by doing that, they put together these things called abstracts. And these abstracts are just thousands and thousands of documents, deeds, warranty deeds, special warranty deeds, basically all these documents that are recorded against the land in the local county office. And then they send us those abstracts, and we start from basically the beginning of the United States, time, from the minute the land was patented, as it's called, to the present, to determine who owns those minerals.
Do you have to deal with a lot of mole men and reptilians?
Do we have to deal with who? Mole men and reptilians?
Yeah, any changeling reptilians?
Yeah. Sometimes a lot of gremlins. Tremors.
Yeah. Well,
mole people. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there could also be leprechaun issue, because if you're talking about who's owning some amount of gold or some amount of, or gold or whatever it be, there may not be in a pot at the moment, but it's in the ground, and it will be in that pot at the end of the rainbow.
Right. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So that's that's a quick overview of what I actually do.
That's cool. And I mean, we're in Colorado, as a lot of the listeners know. Are all the work that you do involves companies and people in Colorado, or is it nationwide?
Well, all the work we do is in Colorado. I'm only licensed in Colorado, so I can't really do work for other states, but we work with companies that are nationwide companies and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Well, what are you working on right now? Are you able to talk about what you're working on right now?
I mean, I'm putting an opinion together for one of our clients. I can't say who or where or anything like that, but that's what I'm doing. So
yeah,
kind of what we talked about. Yeah.
I like it. It's cool. I think it's an interesting. I think it's interesting. I mean, do you have thoughts about moving into a different, like, kind of field of practice, or is that kind of where you're gonna trudge forward?
Yeah, definitely. I would like to branch out and do a lot of other things for sure. It's a good job, and I enjoy it. But I definitely want to practice other fields and do other things as well. It's just it's just my first job, so
Yeah.
What's
I'm
your
happy with
dream?
it.
What's your dream job?
My dream job?
Yeah.
I would really. I mean, my dream job is really to not have a job, right?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, just work for myself and maybe own some properties and manage those properties and just do that. That sounds fantastic.
Nice. Like on
Yeah.
on like an island, or like
I don't care wherever.
nice in like a floating city kind of situation.
Yeah, a flotilla. Yeah, I want to be
Yeah.
the warlord of a flotilla. That's
Okay.
my dream job.
Okay. Just water world.
Water. Yeah, exactly. Kevin
bad-
Costner.
No, not in the bad guy in water world.
I want to be that guy. That's my goal.
Got a pirate horde.
Oh man.
Well, yeah. That's thanks for coming on the show. I think there's gonna be more legal. Just because I'm a moron when it comes to any kind of legal things.
Don't put yourself down. Come on, man.
Well, I don't know jack about it. Well, John, so what have you been up to? We're not going to forget about you.
Oh,
There.
don't worry. I wouldn't let you.
Yeah.
What have I been up to? Jeez, not practicing law. Well, not legally.
No.
I do offer my opinion freely. But you
Well,
know.
as usual, I mean, we always talk a lot about food. I mean, I think you're talk about some of your food endeavors. You just
Okay.
bought some new kitchen gadgets that are pretty intriguing.
I did. I bought a lot of stuff. It's something I've been doing to occupy my time in quarantine, is just spending money. But I bought a little tiny gas grill, like the smallest decent size one, like for an apartment, so it's a little travel one. But then I bought a griddle that goes as a perfect size to go on top. So I have like basically a small gas-powered flat top grill. So I'm gonna do some smash burgers for 4th of July. Actually, I'm gonna do some smash sliders.
Now you're talking to I don't mean to interrupt, but Max, I consider one of the best, or a grill master, I'd say. So you're talking to Maxwell Bridge, the grill master. So sell the smash burger. You've sold me on it before, but and not smash burger the chain restaurant.
No,
just
it's the way you actually make it. I mean, the basic.
Right.
So the secret is you don't mash the meat together to form a patty beforehand. You grab the meat loose. It's ground chuck, and you grab it loose, and you kind of have it in a ball shape, but you don't pat it in any way. Salt and pepper the outside, and then you have the grill hot, or you have the pan hot, flat top, and you smash it down onto it and put pressure on there, get it pretty flat, and then you'll see it start to caramelize, and you flip it, and you can stack them. You gotta stack them so it goes. And you
More than one.
gotta, yeah.
Now, how smashed are we talking here? Now, what's are we like with a hammer? What are we doing?
Well, I have one of those like classic like SpongeBob SquarePants fry cook spatulas. It's
Line
like,
cook
Oh.
spatula.
yeah,
Nice, like the
yeah.
like the things you get in like a restaurant supply store.
Exactly. I
Sweet.
love restaurant supply stores.
Nice. All right.
I'll just go there and be like, I need this. I don't actually serve 300 people a day, but I need
Sir,
it.
we only sell these in packs of 20.
You don't need this industrial fry cutter. It's like, do I? Don't I though? It looks amazing. Think about all the fries I could cut.
Maybe I need to make fries for like 50 people, and it'll come in handy.
They'll all be perfectly cut. No, so yeah, it's pretty easy. Oh, actually, the first time I did it, or the first couple times I've done it, I didn't have this griddle, so I was doing it in round cast iron pans, and so I couldn't really fit my spatula down in there properly. So I was taking a pan of a small the bottom of a small saucepan, and I like put foil on there so it was nice and clean, and I used the saucepan to smash the burger.
That works.
Okay. Now
delicious.
what's your what's your perfect burger? If you're talking about a smash burger, I mean, there's a lot of accoutrement to a burger. You got a bun.
So the theory behind the smash burger, and I respect it, and I have a lot of theories myself, but it's basically the idea is it's a simple burger.
Food theory.
It's food theory. It's a simple burger. It's I like to have a double, and it's with cheese because that kind of keeps it all goopy together. But it's burger cheese, and then like a tomato, some lettuce. Lettuce goes under the burger usually. Sometimes, I mean,
Under the burger.
it's good. It weighs it down, and so you can.
Isn't that kind of a British thing to put the toppings on the bottom?
I have no idea. But they don't all have to go on the bottom. And I love fresh jalapeno on a burger. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple burger. Maybe some mayo, ketchup.
Okay. What kind of bun?
I like a potato bun, but
Bun. Okay.
I go any kind of bun.
Okay. I feel like bun is a contentious issue with some people.
Yeah, I overheard a hilarious conversation one time, and me and my friend were just laughing like at these. They were maybe mid-20s kids, and they were like these kids, and the conversation went something like this. They were like, I don't know, I just can't have a burger on a brioche bun. It's not meant for burgers. It's just its own thing. It's a buttery. I was like, what is this conversation?
This was a serious, like they were heated, this was a heated debate.
This was
buns?
someone was dropping some knowledge on someone about brioche.
I mean, some people don't like it. Is like a kind of a greasy, kind of a oily bread. So I like brioche.
Me too.
But I can see why people don't like brioche. I mean, some people really like onion buns. That's crazy. I mean, in my opinion,
I'm not opposed to any. I'm not opposed to any kind of bun.
The things I've been messing with recently, because everyone loves them, are the Hawaiian sweet rolls. And those they make like regular size hamburger buns, but I don't know where to get
They're
those.
They're slider size.
Yeah, they're slider size. Well, actually, what I did recently, I did like Philly cheesesteaks on those though. I did like a weird Cali Philly cheesesteak. So I got like 6 of them, kept 6 of them together, and sliced them long ways and flipped it open. It would be good. Yeah.
Sounds like quarantine food right there, John.
Ooh, yeah. It's good anytime.
Yeah.
Well, we're risking turning this show into a food show at this point. What do you guys think about actually doing some funny papers?
Let's jump in.
Let's do it. Let's jump right in. And today I was going to start with the pickles. And what do you think about the pickles, Max? I mean, do you read the comic strips on Sundays or?
No. I've never. I think the only times I've ever looked at a paper was like when I used to live at home and my dad would get the paper and
Right.
he would do classic dad things and read the paper and stuff.
Yeah,
but
it gives you the dad noises.
do the dad noises and the dad.
What's a dad? Give me a dad noise.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
and
kind of a.
the paper flip. Snap it open.
You gotta let people know. You're like, I'm here. I'm dad.
Yeah. He's like, who's got the sports page? He'd be handed papers around the house. But no, I've never really read a lot of papers.
It's a generation thing. I mean, it's something that our generation, I think, has moved away from. I mean, we're kind of we're the millennial generation. I think by the time that by the time we have grandchildren, I think a newspaper in print form will be a thing of the past. I believe that.
Or all the like hipsters will be reading them in coffee shops.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, where'd you get that?
If they can get their hands on them, yeah.
They'll be like this hipster like press or like a printer that just prints out newspapers that are online articles. They copy paste on.
They're gonna be printing them in like old warehouses downtown.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Wearing
This
some
is
rolled up
reclaimed.
jeans.
But I think that's true. Well, let's start with the pickles. And the pickles has always reminded me of my grandparents. We're speaking about a different generation. But yeah, let's start with the pickles. And the pickles is by Brian Crane. We start with Earl, who's, he's grandpa. And he's in the grocery store with his grandson Nelson, a little blonde-haired kid. And Earl's wearing a kind of a purple cardigan, a yellow collared shirt underneath that, and corduroy pants. Yeah, I mean it's kind of a grandpa look, but you can tell that they're in a grocery store because there's people in the background pushing shopping carts around the aisles. Yeah,
I just want to point out those are actually Lakers colors.
those are what?
Lakers
Purple and yellow.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Lakers colors. Yeah, I don't know where the town they're set in. I've never figured that out yet, but I doubt it's Los Angeles.
Yeah. Probably.
It's probably 100% LA.
You think so?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a little known fact that all comic strips take place in LA.
Yeah.
It just makes it look like different places.
You didn't know that, Dustin?
No,
This is your show.
well, so they're in the grocery store, and Earl's looking down at Nelson, who's looking up at him, and he's got his hands kind of clasped. Looks like he's playing with something in his hands. And Earl, looking down at Nelson, says, "Do you know where your grandma went?" And Nelson looks up and he goes, "Nope." And now Earl kind of looks up, and he's got one hand in his pocket, and the other one's pointing off in a direction, and he says, "Oh, I think I see her." And now the two of them are walking across the grocery store. You can see people in the background. There's a lady kind of checking out some produce or something back there, and another guy pushing a shopping cart. And Earl says, "Yeah, oh yeah, that's her." And now they've approached the woman that she's checking out the oranges in the produce aisle. And Earl comes up right behind her and says, "Hey, good looking, where have you been hiding?" And gives her a pat on the butt.
Oh no!
Hashtag me too.
Yeah, he gives her a nice little pat right on the hiney. And then at that moment, the woman turns around, and it turns out it's not Opal.
Whoops!
It's some other lady with white hair that's checking out oranges, and she goes, "Eek!" And Earl goes, "Ah!" And so yeah, he's kind of accosted a woman that he thought was his wife, but some rando in the grocery store.
Is that the end?
No.
Oh, jeez! I was like, that's a hell of a way to end that.
No.
And the cops get called. That's what happens.
Or it's like
next.
it's like an apologist like piece. You're like, sometimes it's not the guy's fault.
Right. So now we move along. It looks like they're back home from the grocery store. I'll wait for the truck to pass. And then they're walking in. They're walking up to the front door, and Earl looking down at Nelson, who's looking up at Earl. Nelson says, "So, am I not allowed back in that store either, or is it just you?"
Dang! So he did. He got the full force of the law.
Yeah, I mean, he went up behind some random woman and...
It sounds like a classic old man move right there, if I'm going to be honest.
Okay,
Right.
Here's my question. At the
Sure.
end of that, his wife, is not with them, right? It's just.
Opal? No,
Opal's
she's
not with them.
Somewhere else in the store.
Well, is she though, or was she even at the store? Did Grandpa just go to the store just to?
Hey, Grandpa's
Yeah. Is that your? That looks like your grandma over there, huh?
Yeah, it's like,
I'm
Grandma's
gonna
at home. Why, yeah, where is? Did they just leave her in the store? Dangerous.
It's a good.
But it's reminiscent of, I mean, I remember I did it when I was little in the grocery store when I was just a little kid.
You would just
Gosh,
pat
no.
women on the butt.
No, run up to someone, I mean, just not paying attention. And my memory is I ran up to some woman and grabbed her by the hand, and it turned out not to be Mom. So it was like, whoa. I mean, you guys have never done that? Is it just me?
Yeah, I think I did that, or at least like talk to. Actually, recently I did the thing where my friend was with me and I was talking to them, and then I saw their their movement out of the corner of my eye. And I kept talking to them, and I turned around and I realized it was a different person, and not my friend was farther away, and I was just talking sideways at a random person. So.
And they're like, "You're not who I think you are."
No, they were
Who do you
loving the
think I am?"
conversation. They were into it.
That's the move, though. Just jump in and start. All right, yeah, just start engaging.
Yeah, I remember doing that maybe once or twice when I was a little kid, but I think the move now for me is when if I think people are waving at me or saying hi, and I wave back, but there's like waving to their friend or something that's like right behind me or down the street, and I just keep walking because I feel like I look like an idiot.
Well, I think you need to embrace. I think it's if you embrace the fact that you've embarrassed yourself. I think it can be really funny.
Just gotta not care.
Right.
I don't know those people.
Stop waving at people you don't know.
Yeah, I thought he was waving at me. I was like, oh, all right.
And so they're just leaving Grandma?
I don't think Grandma was there. I think you're right. I don't think Grandma was at the store. I think Grandma is not around. She was just not even at the store.
No, this is what happens when he knows Grandma's not going to be around. He's like, all right, let's go to the store. She's gone.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But I mean, we're talking about a guy that, is from that generation. They had secretaries at the office, and they'd give him a pat on the butt.
That's right.
Good job today, Toots.
Mm-hmm. They're like, how's that glass ceiling treating you? Yeah. Yep, that's how they did it back then.
It's funny, but it's true.
It's a different time.
It was a different time.
But similar time.
Similar but different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But similar.
But similar.
Yeah, I don't know. I try not to pat people on the butt in public, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. I was gonna bring up. Oh my God! I was gonna bring up PDA in Europe as compared to the U.S. Thoughts?
I'm not a big fan of PDA, to be honest.
Really?
No, I'm not. Public displays of affection.
You don't like when other people are doing it, or you don't like doing it yourself? Or both?
I don't. I mean, I don't do it myself.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna if you're doing it and I'm around, I'm probably gonna maybe just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the level though of PDA, really. Like, what are we talking about?
I'm talking about European level, like
making out,
like
in public
street, like fully embraced kissing. Maybe not like tongue everywhere, but passionately into each other.
I think I would prefer actually just kissing as opposed to groping each other.
No, I'm not talking about anything that's bad or would be considered something that they're actually trying to be sexual. I mean, you could consider anything sexual, but it's just they're kissing.
Right.
But yeah, but I think passionately.
I'm okay with that. That's fine. It's more when you start rubbing on each other and it's just oh man,
Get a room.
I think now that I think about it, my real problem with PDA isn't necessarily strangers. It's when I'm around other people that I know, let's say couples, and they're really up on each other, because then it's all right, I can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. When it's in a situation like a social situation where it's your existence is being okay, you guys are in your own thing. I'll see myself out.
Yeah, it's a different experience. Like PDA for me, because I'm still single and I've been single forever, is kind of all right. Rub it in my face.
You just get mad at them.
Yeah. All right, you guys got it going, and I'm sitting here with nothing.
Just yell at them.
But I can,
just bring a sack of tomatoes with you wherever you go, so you can just hug it.
You're probably get really mad in Europe.
Okay, so we warmed up with an easy one with the pickles, which I love dearly. But I had a question leading into our next reading for Max, and it's kind of a legal question discussion about what we do here on the show, which in my opinion and John's as well, the show is kind of considered what we would say parody or satire. But I wanted to know from Max what you thought about the fact that we're reading comic strips and using that. I mean, we're using it in our own way, and we're not displaying it directly. But what do you think on a legal standpoint about that? And if you're able to talk about that or feel comfortable, that's whatever.
Oh, yeah, I think it's perfectly fine. I don't know why there'd be anything wrong with it. You're not like republishing it or do anything like that. You're not violating any like copyright infringement. I mean, it's the same thing as like people that review movies, like you're reviewing comic strips.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people that review movies don't need like permission from the movie studios to do that. They just do it. They're allowed to talk about them. They can show clips of them. I think the only time you'd ever get into some issues is if you were like republishing the comic strips like for financial gain.
Right.
But you're not. So, and I'm talking like posting this out here, like, hey, check this out.
Right.
But having a show about, reviewing comic strips, I don't see any legal issues with that.
Yeah.
In fact, I would imagine comics would probably be thrilled about it. Like if you were the writers of comic strips or newspapers, it'd, bring more attention to what they were doing and get more people involved and maybe subscribe to the newspaper.
Well, I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, and that's just affirming what we have been talking about, and that we really don't feel that there's any. Yeah, I love your connection to your to movie critics. I think that's great.
I mean, it's the same. It's like comic strips are a form of, art, and they're like a medium. So like, I don't know why it would be there'd be any, they put it out there in the public forum, and you're allowed to kind of do with it what you will, as long as you're not claiming it as your own or, like republishing it for profit. If you like scanned that, like the newspaper, and then, posted it online, and then we're just trying to make money off it, like you might have some issues there, but
yeah. Well, cool. I bring them for one because I know that you're not into like copyright and stuff like that. But I just bring that up because the next one the next funny that I'm bringing on, the next comic strip I've never brought on before, and I've never mentioned, but it is hands down my favorite comic strip that's ever been made. And that's Calvin and Hobbes. I know you both know about Calvin and Hobbes.
I know that also they the author of Calvin Hobbes is very protective of his IP.
Exactly. Yeah, Bill Watterson is notoriously protective of his work, and that it's not published anywhere else other than the books that he puts out. There's no merchandise. He's never done merchandise. Can you imagine if there was a Hobbes stuffed tiger? I mean, that would be everywhere. But yeah, Bill Watterson's he's always just been very protective, like John said.
So we're about to test out this theory of Max.
Yeah, we're gonna put it to the test.
Yeah, but see that's why I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable doing it because I think we're not breaching that line that he probably.
And you have an attorney here giving you your legal opinion, giving you his legal opinion. So you're good. You're covered.
You're good. I would just have to worry about getting sued for malpractice by you guys.
Well, that's why I asked. I mean,
has Dustin given you any money and required your service as an attorney?
I made him sign a waiver before I came in. So.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and I bring this particular Calvin and Hobbes to the table because it's one that stood out. I first read it long ago when I was little, and it reminds me of some of the camping trips we've been on as a family. Because we've been on plenty of camping trips as a family. Oh well, this is Calvin and Hobbes by Mr. Bill Watterson, whom I respect very, very much. Now we start with Calvin's dad, which, interesting enough, in my research, Calvin's parents are completely unnamed. It's actually a thing within the comic. They don't actually have names. They just are who they are. But Calvin's dad is, and they're camping. They're on a camping trip. And it's pouring down rain. It's an absolute deluge, which we can relate to. We've been there many times.
It's a fantastic word as well. Deluge.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that French?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
But it's pouring down rain, and Dad's walking down towards the canoe that they've got beached next to the lake. He's walking down holding an oar. And he's got his rain jacket on. What would you call that? I guess a rain jacket.
Yeah.
Poncho?
Or a shell.
There's a funny name for it. But yeah.
His willies?
Could be.
Is that the boots? The willy.
Well, I mean,
Willies.
like galoshes would be.
Galoshes.
boots.
Yeah.
He's walking down towards the canoe, and he's kind of singing to himself, tum di da ta ti do do do. Kind of a dad noises.
Dad noises.
Yeah.
So now he's gotten in his canoe, and he's paddling out on the lake, and he's got a fishing pole hanging out, and he's paddling out, and he's looking up, and he's being optimistic, and he says, "Boy, this sure beats sitting in an office all day," as the rain is pouring down around him. And now we cut to Calvin and Hobbes, and they're in their little pup tent, looking out the flap at the rain coming down, and Hobbes asks Calvin, "Is it still raining?" And Calvin says, "Of course, it's still raining. It's been raining for days. Why should it stop now?" And Hobbes says, "We're going to need a vacation after this vacation." And Calvin comes back and says, "Well, I'll say, we can't even keep a fire going." And now they're back inside the tent where it's dry, and Calvin and Hobbes are laying on their sleeping bags. Calvin's on his side reading some comic strips. Calvin says,
Meta.
"I can't believe Dad went out to catch fish." And Hobbes says, "Yeah, in this weather? He's a fanatic." Now Calvin's looking back out into the rainy outdoor and says, "Either that, or we're all out of packaged food. We'll probably starve to death on this godforsaken rock." We're back in the tent, and they're laying on their sleeping bags just talking to one another. And Hobbes says, "After all that spam, starving doesn't sound so bad." And Calvin's kind of balled up. He's got his arms clenched.
Spam.
He says, "If we live to get home, I'm never going to set foot outside again as long as I live." And now we cut back to Dad, who's pulled the canoe back on shore, and right next to him is a whole grip of fish.
Dang.
Must be 4 or 5, 6 fish laying there. And he's satisfied. He's looking up towards him and hollering out. He says, "What a lucky kid Calvin is. I never got to do this stuff when I was his age. Hey Calvin, want to learn how to gut a fish?" That's Calvin and Hobbes.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
I can definitely relate to that a little bit.
Uh-huh.
yeah. Camping
Going-
trips where you can't start a fire are no fun.
Yeah. Camping trips where it rains the whole time are pretty on par for a lot of trips I've been on. I like the part where it says we're gonna need a vacation after this vacation. There's a lot of times when we go camping and I'm like, this is just we've just been working for like 3 straight days.
It's just
Like,
survival.
It's just this is what people used to do, and this is why they invented houses. And here we are.
You're like, I have a home. What am I doing?
Why am I doing this to myself?
But say I question it every time we go camping. It's like we put all this effort in to getting all this gear together and getting all this food out here just so we could sleep in the woods.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the joy of camping doesn't necessarily come from the comfort of it. It's just from
It's the escape.
The escape and the reconnecting with nature and being among nature. The fact that it's hard and it's uncomfortable, like it's just something that you have to deal with and cope with, but that's just kind of the balance that you have to deal with.
I think that's part of it.
That.
I mean, I think it's like the idea is that you are taken outside the bounds of like the society that you deal with every day, and it's like there is actually you know you get to see and experience for yourself. There is something that exists outside of all your problems that you deal with every day. You know, your commute to work and all that nonsense. It's like actually there's a connection to nature and a connection to our ancestors and our evolution and our just like infinity in itself. Is like you're able to just step out of all your small problems.
Yeah, realize it. No, yeah, there's the whole world exists.
Yeah,
it's
it puts you into perspective. It definitely clears your mind and puts yourself into perspective. It's like this is as simple as it gets, and our everyday worries are really kind of nonsense when it comes to just surviving. I mean, obviously when you're camping like we do, you're not worried about your survival. You're out there for fun. But
I also think there's a sense of I don't know if humans get more pride than when they kind of do things for themselves, like camping, like catching a fish and then cooking that fish over an open fire. I don't know if there's any better feeling than that sense of like survival and just kind of that reconnection with nature that John was talking about. It's very primal, and it makes you feel, better than like, oh, I got a promotion at work, I got a raise. It's like, no, I through my hard work and my perseverance, I'm able to feed myself, or I'm able to keep myself warm, or something like that.
And especially in like a white collar circumstance, there's very few things that in life that you are like, here's the thing that I made. Like my effort went to create this thing, and here's this outcome that I can hold in my hand and enjoy and have people around me enjoy. And there's money, but it's hard to be like, to other than earning money, something that is a creation of your own.
Yeah. I mean, there's all those survival shows and all that stuff out there, that you can watch and whatnot. And like, I imagine the people that are on those shows get more joy out of catching like a fish than like, I get out of any kind of like accomplishment I achieve at work. And I mean, guaranteed.
Oh, it's a trophy. I mean, you remember? I mean, the three of us, along with a few other people, went up to went backpacking a few years back in Caribou Lake, and I think we caught fish on that trip. I mean, that was a blast. One I'll never forget.
That was really nice.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We have a great picture of all of us up there on top of that ridgeline, just getting lambasted by the wind.
Yeah.
Show picture. That'll be it.
Show picture. That was Charlie's first backpacking trip.
Whoa.
Yeah, okay, so introduce Charlie, because Charlie is a special thing.
Let's talk about Charlie.
Person.
Let's talk about Charlie. He's not here to talk about himself, but he is the best dog in the whole wide world. He's a 6-year-old mutt. He's scared of everything, Charlie Dangerbridge. And today, he actually just got a new brother. My parents just adopted and rescued a tripod, a 3-legged border collie.
Whoa.
She's 6 years old. Name's Bodie Barbosa Bridge.
Jeez.
So that Bodie, that's what they...
Yeah.
Nice.
But so we're going to get a new friend in a little while to go camping with us when we all go up camping.
It's interesting. I've seen people that adopt 3-legged dogs, and I've always thought it's awesome. I guess I just never. I don't know if I've ever met a 3-legged dog before.
They're just like four-legged dogs, except they're missing one leg.
Yeah.
So
You don't hang out at the right dog parks, bro.
yeah. the edgy three-legged
Yeah,
dog
you gotta
parks.
go to the cool part of town.
They kind of hop around a little bit. Like he's missing one of his back legs. So I've only ever met one other three-legged dog, and he just he gets around really good. He's not as fast, but he just hops around a little bit.
Well, I'm looking forward to. He's joined the pack, and that's kind of it. You know, when you're camping with a dog, you feel like you're a pack, and that's kind of how the dog acts. You know, that's how Charlie acts when we're camping. If there's anybody strange that comes up, oh, he is absolutely out of his mind. You know,
He's extremely protective. It's like once you kind of establish, you know, your area, like your home base, like your camp area, you know, he's very, very protective of that area and all of his people in that area. Because he's not like that when you're out hiking or anything, but it's once you're camping.
he knows where home is at that
Yeah.
point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's move along from camping. I have something really interesting, and I actually want Max to open it up for me. I mean, I've looked at it. This is an old newspaper. This is an old one from, I believe it's 1974. You'll have to. So, yeah, there you go.
Dad sounds.
All right, we're
So read us the headline, and I think it's gonna be.
court upholds death penalty. All right. Is that what you want me to read?
Jeez.
Yeah, I guess so.
New
dark.
ruling may prove. Yeah.
But read the date too.
Saturday, July 3rd, 1976, Boise, Idaho. The Idaho
That's your
Statesman.
birthday.
Huh?
Oh, never mind.
No, that's also in 2 days. I mean, the anniversary of that is in 2 days.
Yeah. New ruling may prove fatal to Idaho's mandatory law. Okay.
So let me see. Pull out the. Give me the front page.
Wait, what? What was the significance again? I missed it.
I just wanted to get a reaction.
This is good.
Maybe it didn't work quite as well as I thought.
I think it's funny, but kind of sad because
I know.
It's disturbing.
this little somebody's been gone for
Yeah. Well,
a good while now.
I only did
Killed
that
by the
because
state of Idaho.
it's an old newspaper, and I just thought it was interesting. I don't know. It's called Funny. That's not a funny paper, actually.
That's the wrong paper.
It's serious paper.
We don't deal in that part of the newspaper.
Well, I'm opening up that said newspaper, which is like aged. I mean, and it's got an interesting smell.
To perfection.
Can you describe that smell, Mac? I mean, it's like an old library.
That smells like my grandma's house.
Yeah.
in Grangeville. It seriously smells just like her grandparents' house. They have a lot of old papers and stuff. So
Do they? Yeah.
yeah, that smells. That's
Okay.
spot on. Wow.
So don't you wish you could be smelling this aged newspaper, John?
I wish for nothing more than that. I wish I was there, smelling the old people smell on that aged paper. Just understanding, really. Of all this, I mean, the tagline for the show is "See with your ears," but if only we could listen with our nose.
And the smell
There
of
we go.
yours.
Oh my gosh, you guys. We can get some cars back here for on the cheap.
Right? Look at those.
How much is a
cars.
car?
Okay, we can get a Mercury Montego MX for $3,200. Oh, a Mercury Montego X for $3,200. We can get a 72 Ranchero. That's $220. You can get a 74 Jeep, a CG5. That's $5,000.
Dang.
$5,000 for a Jeep.
Yeah. What is that? Oh, you get a 74 Torino for $3,000.
That's a classic car.
Oh, they got a Gremlin in here, the 1973 Gremlin.
Wow.
Oh wow, a Hornet the 1971 Hornet. What else can we get real cheap?
Well, probably a vacuum cleaner and probably I don't know.
If you call those numbers, can you still get those cars for that price?
I'm calling in regards to the ad in the Idaho Statesman.
July 2nd, 1974.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, I'm gonna read a comic out of that newspaper, and this is a weekday paper, so it's a shorter one. And I've never seen this one either. I don't know if it's widely published anymore. It's still published, because I found one that was just published last Sunday. But it's called Broomhilda. And Broomhilda is, it first started back in 1970. So it was pretty new when it came into the paper at this point. But it's all about a cigar-smoking alcoholic witch. It's kind of funny. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So in this particular one, there's two characters that we see. There's Gaylord Buzzard and Irwin Troll.
Is their last name what they are?
Exactly. So it's a buzzard, it's buzzard.
Vulture.
A vulture, thank you.
Yeah. Bird of carrion.
Isn't a buzzard a bird?
Buzzard's a bird, yeah. Well, yeah.
Is it different than a vulture? Or are they the same bird?
I think a buzzard probably is a more blanket term for bird carrier, whatever, birds of carrion, whatever. The birds that eat the scavenger birds.
I think Max is right. I think a buzzard is an actual.
Well, I'm not claiming to know what I'm talking about.
Max over here with the bird knowledge.
I don't know.
Did you get bird law too?
I just asked a question. I wasn't claiming that it was anything. I just was asking, is a buzzard different than a vulture? I don't know.
It wasn't that part of the curriculum in law school?
Yeah, bird law.
Audubon law. Yeah, bird law. That was bird law 101.
Right.
Taught by Charlie Kelly. Yeah.
So in Broomhilda, and you know what Broomhilda's made by let me find it real fast.
Okay, so sorry to interrupt, but buzzard is a general term. In North America, it refers to the turkey vulture, but an old world vulture, it also refers to vultures in Europe as well, which are not turkey vultures.
See, I told you guys. I said it.
So it's a blanket term for like vulture, or like kind of scavenger birds.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we cleared that one up. Yeah. We'll go to Broomhilda. Broomhilda is I just had it there. It was by from Elliot Chaplin, and we start with both Irwin Troll, who's a troll, the little guy, like just a really hairy little guy.
Wait, when you say troll, are we talking about like the toy troll with the gem and the belly and the long hair? Or are we talking like under the bridge ogre with the stick and the drooly?
Kind of none of the above. He's like a little ball of fur, almost more Yeti-like, only smaller, with big feet. Yeah.
Oh, his big feet, like a hobbit.
Feet. Kind of, yeah, like a really hairy hobbit.
Huh. Like a Monchichi.
So is troll just a general term for all big hairy creatures?
I guess you could generalize
just like buzzard is.
Just like buzzard, yeah. Because I imagine trolls being really, really big, carrying like a giant mallet, and then I imagine bridge trolls kind of like the things that ask you riddles.
Have you seen Troll Hunter? Those trolls are giant.
They're massive, yeah.
They're
Troll
huge.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have the trolls that John was talking about with the hair.
Yeah. And trolls too.
And
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this particular troll is just kind of a cute troll. I mean, his name is Erwin Troll. Yeah. And he's next to Gaylord Buzzard, who's our friend, the Buzzard.
Are they looking put together? Are they like?
Well,
Yeah, what's their decorum?
Yeah,
here?
exactly.
They're not wearing any clothes. I mean, they're
They're
animals.
naked.
So they're free balling.
Why do they have names if they're just animals? I don't understand what's going
They're
on.
very proper names. That's what I was wondering if they were like, had their certain status.
Erwin, that's like a prominent name. Erwin.
So is
Gaylord?
Gaylord? Oh yeah, Gaylord. Yeah, wow. That's like buildings named after that person.
Do people? I mean, would you name your kid Gaylord these days? I mean,
Sure.
That must be a name that's kind of been just it doesn't seem very prominent anymore.
No.
Nah, I mean I wouldn't do it just because I'm not a huge fan of the name, but I don't see why if you like the name, why
What
not?
about Wolfgang?
Wolfgang?
Kind of like. I mean, I like
Yeah.
Wolfgang. It sounds tough.
What about
Yeah.
Adolf?
No.
That name's been retired. That name's
I think that name should be retired.
if you name your kid Adolf, you're an asshole. Like it's pretty simple. You're a real prick.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It's okay. No, you're right about that.
It's crazy. I mean, it was a perfectly normal German name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now it is not.
Now it's not.
So
Poor
Pol
little-
Pot's cool. You can name your kid Pol Pot. That's fine.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's back. That's back in. I mean, Joseph. You can name your kid Joseph.
of course, why not?
Well, how about this? People named like Beauregard and Forrest because those are all Southern generals.
Yeah, just like I think. What was that guy's name? He was like the Attorney General for a while. Jeffrey Beauregard Sessions. He was named after both those people. Yeah.
Oh yeah, jeez.
Well, let's get through this one because I've got something. I've got more for you guys, and this is a short one. But Erwin and Gaylord, Erwin Troll and Gaylord Buzzard, are kind of walking out of what looks like a cave up to a campfire, and Erwin says, "Gaylord, how did you get to be so loved and respected?" And Gaylord says, "I follow 3 simple principles, Erwin. I never think an evil thought and never do an evil deed." And then Erwin replies back, "Well, and what's the third?" And Gaylord turns around, looks at him and says, "I lie about the first 2.
All right. So he's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's also an old joke. I mean, it's something your grandpa would tell you. You know what I mean?
So he never does a bad deed. Wait, what? He never thinks a bad thought?
Yeah.
Never thinks an evil thought or does an evil deed.
Yeah. And
then-
never think an evil thought, never do an evil deed.
Now, does that... But he lied about the first 2. So now, is he implying that to be happy, he just does evil things? Or is
And
he just...
lies.
And lies
himself,
about it?
yeah.
Yeah, that's... Like, is he a bad person or is he just saying that because it's funny?
Well, I think it doesn't. It means the first 2 things he said means nothing because he lies about it anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
but what's the deeper meaning?
Yeah.
What are they trying to tell us with this?
Why even say that? You know what I mean?
Right. that makes you think.
Yeah, why say that? Like, if you're just... I don't get it.
Sorry, I kind of missed that. Which one said that? The troll or the vulture?
Definitely the vulture said that
vulture,
for sure.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
That's a vulture thing to say.
Vulture, okay. So, is he giving him advice? He's like trying to help him out? I don't know. I can't get
No,
it.
so it started out. You guys already forgot, I guess. He started out. The troll Erwin says, it starts the conversation. Says, "Gaylord, how did you get to be so loved and respected?" And then he says, "I follow 3 simple principles, Erwin. I never think an evil thought, and never do an evil deed. And then he asks what the third is, and he says, I lie about the first two.
Okay, so he's a politician.
Yeah,
That's what. That's what it
There you
is.
go.
all right.
You guys just, you totally boiled it down.
You hit the
that's
nail on the
exactly
head
what it
there, John.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got to the bottom of that one.
is.
Yeah.
We did.
2 tries, but
So we're nearing the end, but I wanted to bring in a new Broomhilda with the same characters.
Oh, nice.
Only, what would that be?
I'm happy we got their backstory figured out. If we're gonna do another
Well, so
one.
how many years ago was that?
That about 40 something years ago. This
That's like 50, almost 50 years ago.
almost 50. Yeah.
So they've been just doing this, not like this, just like prattling on for 50 years, doing this shenanigans, these hijinks.
Yeah. It's total shenanigans. Well, that's how all comic strips are. They just go on and on and on.
I just like to think the idea of since that moment we just explored with these characters, they've had 50 years to do
Yeah.
stuff.
The Vulture's the president of the United States now.
Yes, exactly right.
It's got a statue of him up.
Yeah.
So this is Broomhilda from just last weekend, June 28th, 2020. It's in color this time, and this is a longer version. But we have our this time we actually meet Broomhilda, who's the alcoholic witch that I was talking about before. And we also have our friend the Buzzard. He's in this one this time. Broomhilda starts out. They're standing in like what looks like a big library. There's a big shelf of books in front of them.
Like a nice library?
It's
public
You
library?
can't really tell. All you see is just a bunch of spines of books on a bookshelf, and she's looking at. And Broomhilda, by the way, is wearing all black. She's got a giant wart on her nose.
Classic witch.
Yeah, she's classic witch. She's looking up at the bookshelf, and she says, kind of in a, what I guess to be kind of a screechy, crackly voice.
Let's hear it.
Oh, well, I could do my best, but I don't think it would. I'm not going to start doing voices today.
Well,
John.
just give us a little taste.
Yeah, musty old stuff.
It's
And
pretty
I
good.
don't mean me.
Nice.
That's what Broomhilda says. And now, crept up behind her is, what was the vulture's name?
Gaylord.
Gaylord. You're right. There you go. Yeah, Gaylord the vulture has come up behind her, looking up at the same bookshelf that she's staring at, and Broomhilda goes, Gaylord, why do we keep these old encyclopedias around? And Gaylord, looking up at the same books that she is, says, they contain a wealth of knowledge. And he's defending his point there. He's pointing at the bookshelf, and as Broomhilda's kind of walking away with her back turned, he says, knowledge broadens your horizons. Broomhilda says, I don't care about that stuff. And now Gaylord's got his finger raised in the air, making a point. He's really standing his ground. He says, oh, and then Broomhilda's turned around and she's pointing at him. And Gaylord says, I don't want to get rid of... Broomhilda interrupts him and says, I say they go. Now, Gaylord's kind of thinking about it. He's looking up in the air. Broomhilda's in front of him with her hands on her hips. And Gaylord says, very well, but one thing still bothers me. He turns and he's scratching his head now. Broomhilda's looking at him, kind of curious. Gaylord says, I can't remember which volume I hid that $100 bill in. And now they've changed completely. Gaylord's looking over at Broomhilda, who's leafing through books like crazy. And Gaylord says, shall we load them in the car now? Broomhilda says, quiet, I'm studying. That's Broomhilda.
She's just a crusty old bat, isn't she?
She values money over knowledge.
Yeah, she does.
She was just looking for that $100 bill.
She wants to get rid of a bunch of books and...
But, you know, the character arc that I was most interested in? Gaylord. He's really come around. It sounds like he values knowledge. He knows, maybe he's manipulating Broomhilda a little bit, but he's doing it for the good of the people.
I like that, John. I like that I love the comparison between Gaylord 50 years ago and him now. He seems to have taken on a different kind of personality.
Well, I mean, maybe, guys. Let's think about it this way. Whose books are these? Are they Broomhilda's books?
They don't say that.
They seem like they're Gaylord's books.
Why? Well, okay, but why?
It seems like Gaylord works for Broomhilda. I don't know the backstory, but that's what it seems like.
I think you're right, John. I think
he's her familiar.
We'd have to read into a lot more, but I think Broomhilda is kind of the ringleader of all these other characters.
Okay, because I mean, if they're Broomhilda's books, and Gaylord is saying I hit $100 bill in there, and he didn't, then basically he's just getting immense joy out of watching Broomhilda, like, you know, tirelessly thumb through all these books, and he's just mentally tormenting her.
Well, he's doing it to
make a point.
No, to achieve his ends of not getting rid of the books.
But I mean, in the end, once she doesn't find that $100 bill, they're going to get rid of the books anyway. And she's just going to be pissed, and he'll have gotten a lot of joy watching her thumb through all these books.
Maybe.
Unless it takes her a lifetime to thumb through all those books.
Yeah. That's true.
Or if she values money, the chance of getting $100 so much that she's not willing to part with the books now because she still hasn't found it.
I just don't necessarily think that Gaylord's all of a sudden a good person. Just because...
I do admit that he's manipulative, but
yeah,
he's doing it. He's doing it to protect the right thing.
Yeah,
the ends justify the means.
Okay. All right.
I don't understand why she wants to get rid of the books in the first place. I mean, shouldn't have 15. I mean, she's 1,500 years old. That's the story behind her. She's a really old witch.
The encyclopedia is not very useful now that we have the internet.
Now that we have the internet, yeah, okay.
I mean, and get rid of the books. What if she's going to donate them, you know? Like, doesn't mean she's going to go out in the backyard and light them on fire.
No.
You might donate the books. Other people could use those books.
Right.
People that don't have the internet.
Tons of people donate books, especially old encyclopedias. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means they don't have any use for them, you know?
The real question is, why does Gaylord want them so badly?
Yeah, well, that's where my opinion comes in. Is I think he just wants to torment Broomhilda.
Wow.
Because it really doesn't affect him at all whether they keep him or don't keep him.
So you just think he's being like a chaotic evil, like just watching the world burn?
I mean, I understand. I don't think either one of them are good people, and that Broomhilda just wants to. Seems like she doesn't give a flying squirrel about books or knowledge, but. It doesn't mean on the reverse side that the Vulture's a good person for making her thumb through all of these books for looking for $100 bill. I think we just might be dealing with two crabby people.
You're probably right.
That's my take on it. Hot take.
I like it. I like the hot take.
How about this one? What if while Broomhilda's thumbing through these books, maybe according to you being tortured, she actually learns something, and she becomes less crabby.
There you go. Actually,
I mean, that's a really nice way to look at it. I like that.
I like the glass half full perspective of things.
I mean, but what if he actually did hide $100 in the books? I mean, we're also making him out to be just a lying sack. Like, what if he did put $100 in there? And
it's a stimulus
reward.
Check.
Yeah.
It's his stimulus check that's buried in those books somewhere. All right, guys. Well, that kind of closes out the show. I think it's been a good one. I really do. I think we've unlocked some things that people maybe haven't thought about before and maybe are thinking about now?
I think it's important for people to look internally and to look at these comics, through a more holistic point of view. Like what's the backstory of all these characters?
Yeah.
Yeah, the deeper meaning behind these cartoons.
I do think that I think you're absolutely right. I mean, the artists that create these aren't doing it simply just to make you laugh. There's something else behind it, that a message that they're trying to relay onto the people that read these comic strips. And I don't know. I think most people gloss over those those ideas, but they should be looked at. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, unless it's like slapstick humor, you can't really have things that are funny without having some sort of deeper meaning behind them. But it's like, you can only get to that meaning once you look past like the initial layer of what's funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's also interesting because, like, you read the Calvin and Hobbes today, which you read from a volume of Calvin Hobbes. And I remember reading that as a kid, and you would get the entire story. It'd be pages and pages of this long-running story. I mean, the moment you read was a snippet in a longer story about them going camping. But for stuff like this, 50-year-old Broomhilda and then the one today, it's like, I don't know, maybe they have volumes of their incomplete works, but just to think that there's all these storylines that have been running this long, and there's all this background and I'm sure character development of some kind that's just like this 50 years of history of these characters. I'm sure it'd be really interesting to go see how some have changed.
Absolutely. That's why I think comic strips are so interesting, because there's television shows that tout their longevity on television. Say we've got 12 seasons. This is a long-running show, and you've got characters in there, but they're not nearly as developed or long-lived as a comic strip, like Dennis the Menace that we talked about a few weeks ago. That's equally as old, even older, I think, than Broomhilda. And those characters have been developed over decades. I think it's interesting.
I imagine some of the people that probably have read these comics, like their whole lives, feel a very deep connection to these characters, so much so that it's, it's not just like a comic strip anymore, but they probably feel like they know these people and these
family member,
as like on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
Would you get a Broomhilda tattoo?
What does she look like? I didn't even see what she looked like. Let's see.
This is the modern look on her.
That's exactly what I thought she would look like.
Yeah.
Would you go for a Broomhilda or a Gaylord tattoo?
Gaylord's actually kind of cool looking.
Yeah, he's not bad looking. He's got some glasses on, I think. I think he's wearing glasses.
Or the troll. The troll looks cool.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of encyclopedias.
Yeah. Well, and his character illustration has changed. When you look back on the paper from 1976, it's a bit different. I mean, it's also in black and white, but
it's the same author, right?
You know what? Let me look at that. I think it's been the same one for all this time, but it doesn't. It doesn't mention. Well, you know what? I should mention this too. That Broomhilda was. The person's name is Lil Abner, the cartoonist. Al Cap. What does that mean?
So the writer is different than the cartoonist?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But no, it doesn't mention any kind of change in the creators of it. That's a long time to do something like that. It really is, but
it's a good gig.
Oh man, this one's kind of racist.
Oh, well, I know which one you looked up, and we did it before.
Did you? Which one?
Red Eye.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that one was bad.
Oh damn.
Yeah, that one's a little rough.
I did not age well.
The joke is just racism.
It is. Go check out episode 10 of Funny Papers for that particular funny. It's episode 10, and it's called "Get Out of the Pity Pot." But guys, let's wrap it up for today. Thank you so much for coming in, Max.
Oh yeah, no problem. It was fun.
Yeah, and as always, John, thanks for coming in. It really makes the show fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
What was that?
I don't know. I
That
guess
was my sign off. You don't like it?
that's John's sign off.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear that. It just sounded like a muffled like.
Good.
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody that's listened to this show that we're offering a chance to win a Funny Papers T-shirt, and they're really cool, don't you think?
It's a very cool T-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just submit a comment to this episode or to the on the website in general for a chance to win a Funny Papers T-shirt, and I'm sure you'll love them as much as we do.
They're my pride and joy.
They really are. They're comfortable and they're fashionable.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Functionally fashionable.
Mm-hmm.
Funny Papers T-shirts.
There it
Yeah.
is.
Hey Max, there we go. Can we get you on the staff here?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, guys. Well, thanks for joining us, and it's been a lot of fun. So until next time, this is your old buddy Dustin, and I'll see you in the Funny Papers.